Good day, everybody. Brian here from quantlabs.net. Just wanted to go through some of the stuff that I've been working on. This will be part of my tutorial page for the Quant Analytics service. I've already gone through this enough. If you go over to my quantlabs.net page on Facebook, which is public and open, you'll find a video I just posted earlier today called Which CFD to Trade on June 9th, 2020. That's today's date. Now it's at 8:30. I'm going to do the equivalent of what I've done in this video, but do it on forex. Now, I'm going to get into explaining why I'm doing forex and blah, blah, blah. Despite my past rants. What you can do is, I would highly recommend to watch that video. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do a quick scan here using the powerful MotiveWave platform. I'm going to do a scanner right here. Okay, so I'm going to do a harmonic. I'm going to create a watch list here. Actually, I'm going to do basically a start and everything. It's going to include the CFDs, which I don't really care about. I'm only going to care about this for the score of excellent, well, that's all I'm caring about. Anything else, I don't really care about. I mean, I'm only interested in star performers, top performers. If I find it money, you don't only want to put your cash only into the top performers for little risk, most reward, as we usually would look for. But there's only two pairs. So again, sorting it out. So we are done. Okay, so we have two pairs here, Australian, New Zealand, Euro and British Pound, I believe the USD and the USCH, Swiss franc. So let's look at these pairs. It's a good tutorial as well for those that want to learn about this powerful software. Got to make sure I got the right layout, which is this one, and I'm going to redo it. Okay, let's hope we can get that. Yes. Okay, so I'm going to do it again. So we're going to do a harmonic. Okay, this is all preset. If you're interested in this sort of stuff on MotiveWave, you can go over to my playlist on YouTube. Look for the MotiveWave playlist on Quant Labs YouTube channel. So again, we'll do the score of excellent only. Okay, here we are. So we have Australia, New Zealand, Euro against the pound, the British pound, and the US against the Swiss franc. So this is what we're going to look at. First thing is we're going to look at, this is a shorting opportunity, but right now I'm just going to focus on long. And we get this long decline here, as you can see. And we're not going to partake in those right now. So let's move on to the next one. Euro and the British pound, same thing. And the USD and CHF. Okay, so we have here a long potential, this target being higher than this currently is. So let's look at that chart. So again, you know, this is the daily chart. This is what we call unpredictability. I've shown certain pairs that are great for defensive when we get these crazy dips like happened in March and April, or if one of those crazy dip took place. So you can see it's correlated around the performance of the U.S. Stock markets, which impacts the global. But here we have our target here, D, higher than the current price. So that is going to raise a couple of questions. So if you watch that previous video highlight, you can watch the her cycles. And I'll just get these shown here just to see what the potential is with this. So let's see here. Okay, it's not very convincing. We like to see, there's 4 diamonds here that we look for. This is not very strong. So overall, see here, this is what we're kind of looking for. 3 diamonds, you can see it moved up. It's very choppy. This one's really good here for this move up. 4 diamonds there. But there's nothing here that's not really convincing, let's put it that way. All right, so I'm not too convinced that forex is the place to be. Funny enough, I just read the headline of potential US dollar collapses, a Bloomberg daily news headline. So we'll leave it at that, but we still have other resources as highlighted. In the description, we have our spreadsheets and Word documents generated by Python scripts. So again, we can sort based upon a momentum, slope, and we can also measure our volatility using the standard deviation. So if I do a data sort here in Excel, on the column of momentum, so we want largest to smallest. This will show you historically which one's been really strong. And oddly enough, I guess this is when it come out of a pandemic, we can expect this. The USD against the Chinese yuan has been strong. Australia against the Hong Kong dollar, Australia against the US dollar, Australia against the Japanese yen, a euro against the Turkish lira. Now, I have to really stress here, when it comes to Forex, I'm not a big fan of day trading these at all, because investing is a different story, because you got the spread to worry about, will your broker cheat you, so on and so forth. This is using Oanda. I'm not a huge fan of Forex, but I've seen certain trends that you can make a little bit of money, and compared to crypto, we don't have a lot of choice here. So when I looked at this before, we had the Norwegian and the Mexican pesos at a really good defense trade against the stock market as a safe haven. So that makes me think then those are good ones to pile into if things do take a dip in the US markets. But here, this is quite interesting, where you get the Asian ones starting to take off. So let me look at that in MotiveWave. So let me just pull up a chart here, USD and CHN. Exactly right. So when I say we're investing, we can invest into these type of pairs. I'm not worried too much about the spread. If I'm wrong, let me know. Long term, and I'm talking about, well, I'll show you. So we're going to look at the daily view here, daily chart. So let's see what's going on here. This is quite interesting. Markets tank and the yuan goes up. So from 692 all the way up to 707. That's not a huge move up. Let's see what's again going in with the Hearst cycles, because those can be pretty reliable in terms of reverse potential here. Let me just see these here. Let's keep everything simple, very simple. Again, it's not very convincing here. No, these are not convincing. I like to see 4 diamonds, not very strong. So what was our other one? We had the Australian Hong Kong dollar. So the Australian HK. Yep, there we go. Okay. So here we go. So here from March, and it's still climbing. That is pretty incredible. That's quite a nice run there. So we are looking from 448, let's say, all the way up to 540. So it's a buck over 6 weeks, I'm going to say. So that started mid-March. Yeah, just under 2 months, maybe 6 weeks. That's a pretty good trade. All right, so let's apply the Hearst and see what it tells us. So again, we don't care about the politics and all we care about is making money. If we're able to trade it, I'll trade it. And if I can make money, that's what I'm doing. Again, I'm not really caring about the market. So here, see how we're doing here. It's gone flat. So I believe in around here is where all the political nightmare stuff kicked in, the pandemic, all that. Right here, it's moving up. Question is, will it continue? So we got a next leg up. Will it continue? Supposedly July 13th and beyond the September 17th. So these are two key dates for entries potentials. So this is a very powerful chart. I like that. Might be too late in the game. So let me just see this one with Australia USD. Australia, I mean, there's something going on in Australia. There's always there's a USD Australia. Yeah, let me just make sure I got the right pair here. So Australia USD. So something's definitely going on with the US dollar, or sorry, the Australian dollar, with the Japanese yen as well. Again, we have a great trade here. Let's check out one more pair. So that was Australian against the Japanese yen. JPY. So again, great trade, really, really good. So of course we are missing out on this. You can see you can see the volume build, and then boom, up it goes. So it's petering out here. So this might be the volume petering out. But again, we can always look at things like her cycle. So this is probably has been a good trade. Yeah, will it continue? I don't know. But there's something going on definitely with the Australian dollar. If it's already peaked out here, let me just see here. Historically, yeah, it looks like it's at its peak, historical peak. But look at that. That's kind of reversal. We want to see those four diamonds, just an amazing. But here we can see on this cycle here that we are going to start to decline, and our next entry would be here. So looks good. Missed it out, but we could probably take advantage of it around August 5th. Okay, so let's just want to show you another thing that we can look at here, the Ichimoku cloud, which is pretty powerful indeed itself. Not as strong on the decline. A lot of these indicators that you use in studies are always lagging, but there's certain ones that do well. This one's not doing too bad, but Hearst is pretty good. Okay, so we'll leave it at that. And those have been the really good ones. But here's the question. What are going to be the next star performers in the next range? If it's going to be things like Euro against the Swedish, USD, New Zealand against the Canadian, what will be the next stars to be on the lookout for? That's why we got the reports that my scripts, Python scripts that I've worked on over the years can help there. And oddly enough, let's check them out. And let's see what they say. So if you watch that other report I put out on CFD, we can filter. These are shorts opportunities. Now I'm not a short trader. I'm not confident in it yet, but I'll go through this particular pair. It looks pretty. Look at gimme. So we can also look at longs. We can look at longs based on trend. We can look at longs based upon that are not really filtered, but there's nothing in there anyway. So I'll just close that. And then we have one more, another FX filtered on volume. So why don't we look at this short opportunity here? I'm not a huge believer in shorts, but it's gone flat. let's see, we got a signal here. Oddly enough, it's in an upward trend. And it could be potential because historically, when it hits here at this level 382, it does drop back down below the 618 Fibonacci's here. You can see here there are more fat tail losses on the distribution. Here are some signals. So we have a bearish crab. We have another bearish. So these are bearish signals. Let's see when they are generated. So these are harmonic patterns that are generated. Let's see here. We don't have the dates when these were generated. Usually I have that. Oh, here we go. So we have detected bullish. So these were bullish. These are useless signals. All right. So looking at this chart, it does seem to be weakening. We have a negative momentum, and it is in decline. I'll look at the MotiveWave, see what it says here. So that pair was the Singapore. So it's Singapore overall that may be sinking here. Let me just see here. A Singapore chart, SGD. That was the first one. Was the Singapore CHF. SGD. CHF, off we go. So these are daily charts we're looking at. Does look like it has come off. Is it ready for another decline? Again, Hertz I like. I use it a lot. One thing we don't want to see are the reversals. It's 4 diamonds. You don't want to see any diamonds at all on the next leg. So you can see here, it looks like it's a reversal, which was true. It's not too strong. It's pretty close to its peak, it looks like, which is here, and then it starts. I mean, this is accurate. So you have a, but the question is the level of decline sufficient enough to make it worthwhile for a short call? I don't think so by the looks of it. It could dip. Let me just see. Let's just see historically. We do a weekly chart. We get rid of this. That's a pretty steep decline. So it's already hitting its lows. Will it shorten it further? I don't think so. Okay, so we have another one here as well. Another way to verify that is by looking at the ranking spreadsheet. So again, Singapore against the Hong Kong dollar. Let's see how this is looking. See, it's moving up. I think it's going to strengthen, especially with Hong Kong. So if we're past the pandemic, we clearly see that there seems to be more, it's tough to say, 50-50 returns. It is slowly, so we have a bearish, bullish, two bullish signals. Historically, the momentum is weakening, but I don't think it looks like it's going to drop down. But what we can look at is the spreadsheet. So we sorted this by momentum. So it's the SGD. I don't even see Singapore. It's not even the top half or bottom half. So I don't think this shorting is worth really pursuing. So we have two other reports here of, we're going to look at the first one based on trend. So we have here USD against the Hungarian lira, Turkish lira against the yen, and the euro against the Hungarian. And again, this is for investment purposes, so buy and hold. So, this is, so it looks more negative, bullish crap there, bearish. So what other signals have we got? Nothing else to see here, as they say. Look back. Oh, we have a bearish signal. It's pretty flat. Looking pretty flat for a long, I don't know. Let me just see that in MotiveWave. So this pair was Euro Hungarian. Okay, let's check that out. Euro against HUF. Euro against H. Okay. Okay, so let's see what this says. Oh, I can see why I picked it up. Look at that, that's a huge run up. But so that went up from 338 all the way up to 356. That's a good 10% in 3 or 4 days, and it's dropped off. So I can see why it picked that up. I don't know what drove that. Must be some kind of news. Who knows? But definitely, it looks like a missed opportunity. So let's see how the Turkish moves. So that's in a steady decline. But here's the interesting thing. Steady decline above the trend line, but when it goes above the trend line, it barely moves against the trend line. So question is this a day of reckoning trade if the US dollar, let's say, I don't want to say collapse, but let's just say if it weakens, and could this kind of pair be useful? We've already identified some of the star performers, which we already talked about the last few videos. So one day view here. So again, it's bottoming out. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? Good old Hearst. Let's see what the Hearst says. Okay, we got a big one here. Didn't go anywhere. That was not accurate. Here we're seeing a reversal. And boom. It's flattening out. So it went from here to here, somewhere in here. I don't know if that's reliable. This is correct. It did go up, but is it? So let's just say. So this is moving. Well, it's a reversal, yes, on the downside. January 8th. So you follow this cycle to about here. So May, nothing happened. Here's our next major move up. Not to be relied on. I don't think this is worth pursuing. Oh, I'm sorry. You know what? SGD CHF. We wanted, well, it's not a reliable one. So let's try this Turkish lira against the yen. Don't know what happened there. Try against JPY. Okay, go. So okay, let's just see if we look at for those diamonds. Diamonds in the rough, as they say. Create. Okay, so we have one here. Here. This was accurate. This is accurate. Next one's to here. So will it take off? Judging by this line, yes. This could be something, hold on here. I don't know what's going on here, but so I'm sorry about this. I don't know what's going on with MotiveWave here. Try JPY. Okay. Okay, so let's do the Hurst cycle again. Okay. So did calculate here. There was a downtrend. Did calculate here. This, I don't know what this means. Here, it's a classic reversal. This one I don't like. So this line, that somewhat, okay, reversal here. We have peak and starting to come back down. So our next one will be July 8th. There might be some validity to this on the TRY JPY, but how big will it be? I don't know. But it's already in its peak, so the timing to take the trade is not that not recommended. Here you can see we've got a lot more negative returns, so bullish, bearish, crabs. Look back, it's flat, flat. Nah, this is definitely a trade I wouldn't pick up on. Let's see what else we got here. Bearish, bearish, bearish. This is a different USD HUF. Okay, so this is evenly split. This looks flat again, flat. There's not a lot of exciting things going on in the world of forex based on this. So everything's all flat, and the projections of what will take off, I don't know. So let me get rid of this, this, USD. I'm sorry, let me move the chart. USD HUF. Okay. USD HUF. Okay, please work. I don't want to have the same problems before. Okay, so this looks good from April. So here, I think we looked at this one. Yeah, we looked at this one. Okay. And that's all we have for this. And that's the FX long based on trend. Is that our last report? And we have one more based on a volume. So we have a ton of these already. So, okay, so we did talk about the Australian dollar. There might be some fairly interesting things happening with the Australian dollar. So let's take a look at that. So first, let's take a look at the GBP against the Australian dollar. Let's get that. So we'll keep that for now. GBP Australian dollar. We were pretty confident with the Australian dollar. That looked pretty good. Okay. So it's in a decline. That's not very good. Let's do a Hurst cycle. See if we are entering into a reversal. Okay, so we are somewhat in a reversal. So this, as it continues, yes, we may be in a reversal here. You can see it's starting to bounce up. So let's see what the Ichimoku says. Thanks for the like. Okay, so let's look at the Ichimoku. I'm sure I'll be adding more of these as I find more reliable studies, or as they call them, indicators, really. This one here. Create. You see that ominous downward trend here? No, I just prefer the host cycles. Okay, so we'll leave that. I do think we have a reversal happening here. Let me just go back into the reports here. It's very flat, so yeah, don't expect a huge bounce. Historically, if I pull up the weekly, what are we talking here? Well, I mean, you had a nice rise up. So we're going from 187 all the way up to 280, or sorry, 202. So that's about a 20% return. That's from, hold on, so that's between January, let's say 5th, all the way up to the peak in April 5th. So if we're here, let's see what we got here. I'm going to be honest with you. So we've had this historical deep dip here. There's a historical low. We're kind of close to it. So we've had here, the wick is pretty steep, so we know that that's going to be a bad day the next day. But the wick seems to be stable. This could be a good reversal. I gotta make sure. Let me look at the Hearst again. Base it upon the number of diamonds that it has on that reversal. So that's a weekly. Let's look at the 1 day. So we have 3. If we had 4, you'd be convincing me. But still, I think that there's a pretty good chance of some form of reversal. Let me look at any of the other ones if it pertains with the Australian dollar here. So here, this is a bullish bat. Let's see. So we have our momentum just starting to build up. RSI still below 50. That might be a good time to get in. I'd put a little bit in and just watch it each day to see how this plays out and put more money as it builds. Okay, so we have another one. So here we have the GBP against the Australian dollar. Now we have the GBP against the New Zealand dollar. So a slight downtrend. Here's the thing. It's peaking and it's dropping below. So this may be actually a slight shorting opportunity. It looks like it is with the Fibonacci's. I would say we definitely have more negative side with these daily distributions. We have here a bullish butterfly and a bearish bat. Okay. Let's see here. So the momentum on the long, it seems to be weakening. It is below 0 actually. It's definitely weakening here. Definitely weakening here, and that's on the 90-day RSI. So it may further drop down, but on the 30, hold on here. So we're starting to see a classic bottoming process. So that can be confirmed again using the Hurston with MotiveWave here. Let me just pull that out. So we got two pairs here. Now, with the New Zealand dollar, let's look at that. That's a daily, so it's the same story. Let's see who's telling us here. So this might be a good time to buy into it for this pair here. So three diamonds, this weird looking diamond. I don't know if we have diamonds here at all. Tough. I think we do have a form of bottoming here. You can see here that this is a positive volume bar, and it is increasing, so that might be a classic reversal because it's reaching its historical low. If you look at the 1 week, actually, it's more close to its historical. But yearly historical was placed July 28th last year. So judging by this, and this little wick here, I would think it is bottoming, at least for the short term. That's a tough one. But when you look at both involving the British pound with the New Zealand, the Australian dollar, both, that tells me a story here. So here's an interesting pair, and this probably will end this video after I look at this pair here, the Swiss franc against the rand, the South African rand. It's been flat, slight decline, above trend, below the entry level with the Fibonacci levels. Look at that. This is the problem, is you get into these, it looks very volatile when you get some fat tails here and the fat distributions. And we have a butterfly bull, bearish bats, that evens that out. Slight decline there. Could be declining here. This is a tough one. Here it's reaching 30-day historical, but yet, well, it's a negative momentum, but it's building. The volume's fairly stable. Got some positive volume there. Okay, let me just look at that. That was the franc against the rand. This one's what we want. Okay, so here we are in a decline. Weekly had a nice run up here. So this might be another one of those trades where as the market goes off, this could be one of those trades where it correlates indirectly with the U.S. market's performance. So it went from 1451 as a low in December all the way up to March 29th with 1854, 14. So that's, over a 3-month run up. That's a nice 14, yeah, just above 10%, 15% in and around there. That's not bad. But here, what's it going to do? Did I look at the Hirsch cycle? Yeah, we don't see anything here. Here's where your potential reversal, slight reversal would have been. Here, 3, yeah, it's not very strong, not very convincing, but yeah, there's no story here, I don't think. I'm just going to end it there. And if you like this stuff, I'm going to have a tutorial on this for forex. Remember, this is for investment. If you are interested in this stuff, you can come over to the quantlabs.net page, obviously the YouTube channel. If you go to quantlabs.net, and you can subscribe, get some free PDFs at quantlabs.net right there. And we also have our DVD as well. Okay, that's pretty well it. Thanks for watching, and have yourselves a good day.